moved back to Manhattan back in 2020. I was living in Spanish Harlem. This is basically, essentially Spanish Harlem. This is like across the bridge from Spanish Harlem, right where we are. It's an island. Oh, it's lit out here. Black people out here, yes. Spanish people, white people, all kind of people. Dogs. Look at that teepee, that's cute. Alright. Let's see, maybe we can pause right here. I came out here to get me a nice tan to absorb the sun. Need it. Alright. Alright. So, ooh, I'm falling, yo. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Can you guys see me? I don't know. Seems a little dark, but just take a look. Just take a look before we jump into this video. I think I'm a bit disturbed because I feel like our confusion as a race of people, as black people, is the reason why we are so stagnant in our progress to emancipate ourselves. It's like the chains have been removed from our feet and our arms, but yet and still we are still enslaved in our minds. We haven't freed ourselves. And a lot of black people are making an argument, well, when America became free, when America got its independence back in 1776, black people, the slaves, were not free. At least some of them, right? From my understanding. But I'm like, we're free now. We are free now, black people. So why do we still want to be bound to a certain timeline where we weren't free? It makes no sense at all. And I can see the benefit for a lot of black conscious leaders to continue to promote this narrative because they profit off of it, right? If black people, let's say, picture this scenario. If black people in America knew that they were free and lived in their freedom, which I would say a good number of us do, right? But then there is a significant portion of us still bound to a certain timeline and haven't emancipated our minds yet, right? So just imagine if we all lived in this freedom, we embraced it, we stood tall in it. There will be no point of having these conscious movements, right? And nowadays, what the conscious movements have evolved to essentially is capitalism. They're capitalizing, they're profiteering off of the perceived oppression of black people. Now, it's not to negate the fact that, yeah, black people are targeted in this racial oppression, right? But it's not to the extent that we perceive it, not to the extent that we want to, like, live in it, right? I'm looking at my timeline, I'm seeing, like, the overwhelming number of black people who are like, I'm not celebrating 4th of July because we weren't free back then. And I'm like, yeah, it still ain't free now. To have that mindset, like, this is a holiday to celebrate our independence just as people in general, right? It makes no sense. Look at this. Look at this. So happy 4th of July, you guys. Not that I necessarily celebrate 4th of July. I don't really celebrate holidays or birthdays. But I'm not knocking those who do. And like I said, I kind of feel a little bit annoyed at people such as these conscious leaders and members of the conscious community want to spew this narrative, want to keep this narrative going. And with that, we're not ever going to be free. They're holding on to this identity of being enslaved. You're never going to be free with that mindset. But it's like a crutch for them. I think slavery and being enslaved in our minds is a crutch for a lot of black people. Meanwhile, the rest of America is living their best life. And we are begrudgingly holding ourselves as slaves to a timeline that doesn't even exist anymore. How sad is that?
Yeah, no, like when
I'm just saying though, how sad is that? I'm just taking in the sights, the smells, the sounds of my environment, y'all. I had a very peaceful walk coming here. I walked here from Upper East Side along the East River. And it was lovely. This is the confusion. This is where the confusion lies. It's like, okay, black people want to affirm that slaves weren't free when America got its independence, right? Therefore, they're not celebrating Independence Day, 4th of July annually. But then what about all the other holidays? What about all the other American freedoms that they taken? It's like, black people are so wishy-washy, they're so confused. Like, if you're gonna boycott one holiday, why not boycott them all? And what is boycotting a holiday do? They're still making money, whether you boycott it or not. Christmas boycott 4th of July. We boycott New Year's. We're still make a heap of money in every holiday. So what does that mean? I feel like we need to be consistent. We need consistency in our stance, right? Like if we're gonna hold one position on a particular holiday, such as 4th of July, we need to maintain that. I think that also another issue is that we're so divided. There's so many different sects within the black community. Right? You have the Moors, you have the Hebrew Israelites, you have Pan-Africanism, you have FBA now, right? Like, then when they want to say, okay, well, we don't need one leader, one identified leader, because that leader then becomes a target and is killed, right? That makes no damn sense at all. That just sounds like some pussy ass shit. That sounds like people aren't really willing to fight and to die, to lose their lives for what they claim they stand for in that respect. If that's the case, then they don't really deserve respect. These so-called leaders don't even deserve respect. They're afraid to die. They don't want to be targeted. If anything, we need to stand united. There needs to be a unified front. When it comes to what we're doing, right? We're going to boycott something. Now? So, I wouldn't even say there are millions of black people who are boycotting the 4th of July. It's probably, if it's in the thousands, right? Not that many. Probably not even that. If it's even 1,000, claim they're boycotting 4th of July. Those same people, if we're going to boycott 4th of July, we got to put our money where our mouth is at. And pull out our dollars from all these different institutions that we're investing in, right? All these different brands that we're investing in. How about we pull our money out from that? This is nice lakefront where love what I'm wearing. Thank you. So this is actually, I'm at Randalls Island here in Manhattan. Randalls Island. Everybody is out here full effect. It is thick, as I'm sure it is from many different parts in America. It might take me a boat ride. I don't know. Out though. I feel like I need to get out. It's so depressing, I think, when we let ourselves, right, and we maintain this stance that we're going to be anti-American on some days, but then we love America. I feel like black people have a love-hate relationship with America, apparently. If you want to boycott the holidays, then why are you still here? That's my thing, right? Rikers Island, Manhattan, thank you. Rikers Island. No, this is Randalls Island. Rikers Island, I think that is where the jail is at. Honestly, I don't even know where Rikers Island is at. I don't even think I've been there, but I want to go check it out. But this is Randalls Island, not Rikers. That's funny. This island is actually where the Manhattan Psychiatric Hospital is located. And Kirby's Forensic Hospital is located over here. Randalls Island. Look at that. It's moving so fast. This thing is going up. I don't know how fast it's going. It's going like 50 miles per hour. Love-hate relationship due to slavery. Yes, that's where the prison is. Yeah, that's where Rikers Island is where the jail is at. But yeah, it's unfortunate, this love-hate relationship that we have. I feel like we definitely need to remember our history and where we come from. Be reminded of it, which we are. We have many instances where we can't forget it, right? Like, we have our whole Black History Month. Top of it, it was Juneteenth, and I didn't even know that we were off that day. Like, I work for a state facility here in New York as a psychologist, and they're telling us, like, oh, you don't have to come into work on Monday, it's Juneteenth. I'm like, what? So they gave us Juneteenth, national federal holiday, paid time off. Or you could just sit at home or just hang out with your black people and chill, and meanwhile you're getting paid for it, right? We have all these luxuries, and yet we still are not fucking happy. They can give us reparations and we still won't be happy. The reparations are going to go right back into the white dominant economy anyway. Right? You want to sit here and scream reparations, but it's going to go right back into the system, the hands of the oppressors. So I feel like if we are black people, the ones that are boycotting 4th of July, are truly serious about this boycott, they were truly serious. If you really want to hold America accountable to that extent, leave. I follow this blogger who goes by the name of Good Energy. Good Energy. Energy spelled with an I at the end. I love her. She's from California. Now she's living, I think, in New Zealand. And she made a video recently about leaving America, like reason why she left, right? And in her video, she's saying it makes no sense to gripe and complain. And for those who want to say, no, I'm staying in America because I'm fighting for my rights to be here. Like, I deserve to be here, so I'm fighting for it. She's like, no. Fight for what? You only have one life to live. You want to spend your whole entire life fighting. oppressed, depressed. Life is meant to be enjoyed, okay? People here are having a good time. Everyone else here is able to laugh and enjoy their family and just enjoy life, right? Just live. Why are we bound to be sitting here fighting, griping? Psychologically, I think that it's because we are in a regress state. We're fixated in a certain timeline psychologically and emotionally, and we sometimes have moments where we slip out of that fixation and we're able to just go and live life and just even forget, for a moment about our history in a good way, right? And how we have been oppressed, and we can just live. But then there are triggering events that happen. Like, I think there was one recently that happened in Ohio. I'm not even really up on it because I just been living my life, but I've been seeing people repost about it. Let me take a pause here. And I think it's events like that that set us back, that bring us right back to that psychological timeline of being enslaved. It's like, it's a reminder, and I think we gotta take a step outside of ourselves to see what is really being done. What is really happening to us, right? How this is actually being strategically orchestrated to keep us oppressed. These events, it's a mind play, it's a mind fuck. They're playing with our mind, That can't be so emotionally reactive to these events. It's not to say that, of course, you don't have an attachment because you identify yourself as an African American. So when you see a fellow African American brother or sister murdered at the hands of police, we know that it's the result of a race war. Yeah, you're gonna feel something, but also take yourself out of the equation to realize, like, this is strategically planned. It's like, and it's like playing chess. If you know the enemy has a certain move against you to try to overcome you and defeat you, you got to be 10 steps ahead of that, right? And to not be so easily swayed by what's happening, these events that are happening, that they purposefully broadcast on the media to get you all up in your feelings and to get you distracted from just enjoying your life and spending time with your family and eating good and feeling good, right? And loving each other. That's all I'm saying. I was off for Juneteenth, the United States holiday here in California. It's a federal holiday. It's not a state holiday. Juneteenth is a federal holiday. So, given that I work for the state, regardless, no matter where you work though, it should be recognized. Your organization should honor it. But yeah, it's definitely a paid time off holiday because it's a federal holiday. What do you want to see concerning 4th of July? 4th of July, I want to see how it was back in the day where black people, we got to just be ourselves. We celebrate 4th of July how we celebrate it. We're not celebrating because other white people celebrate. We celebrate because we free too. It's like anybody else. Like, we are free. It's like black people, and it's just, 4th of July is just one example, but throughout the year, there's so many black people who literally put themselves in chains. They enslave their own minds, and they live like this. You can see that they're taking a toll on them. It's like, you don't have to live this life like this, right? Understand that depression has a psychological and a neurological, biological effect on one's DNA, genetic makeup. So this experience that you are helping to create for yourself as an individual, based on your perspective, based on your ideology, when you have children, you pass that down to your children. It's called epigenetics. Your children inherit that level, that same negative energy, And so the black people wonder, okay, well, what is the answer? I can tell you this, what we can do within our own power is to change our perspective and just to be. Right? So much of our existence, so much of our identity is in relation to how white people see us, right? Like, who we are is heavily defined and based upon a group of people outside of us. That is a major problem. No, it shouldn't be that way. We need to just live our lives. Live our lives as if white people didn't exist. You know, if white people didn't exist, what would we be doing? That's what we should do. That's my whole point. White people did not exist. What would we be doing? Would we be sitting around here marching, protesting? Would we be sitting around here griping and complaining, stuck in the past, always defining things based on race? What I want people to do is just, for a second, take a minute, take a moment to look at the situation through a different lens, to see how this perspective is negatively impacting your overall well-being. It's negatively impacting your interpersonal relationships with other people. You got black people can't even get along with each other because they are stuck in this socially defined construct of what they've been taught, right? It's the more, like I was saying earlier, it's the Moors against the Hebrew Israelites, and it's Pan-Africanism against the Foundation of Black American movement. It's just like, come on. When I think we would be further and better off in life if we just exist, just be as human beings. We do our own selves a disadvantage when we're stuck. That's part of our emancipation. It comes with us coming to an awareness and understanding of how we have become stagnant, you know, by some fault of our own. And yes, fault that has nothing to do with us. But take responsibility for the part that we play, essentially, in this matter. There are things that we can do differently. We should live our lives. I feel like at some point, you know, black people who feel very strongly against America and what's been done to black people in America, why are you still here? Leave. That's how I see it. I'm not advocating for America or whatever hell that's happening here. To feel it would be in your interest to consider other possibilities, because I think that in here, black people limit themselves so many different levels. When America is only one country. That's all I'm saying. It's only one country. There's so many different places to thrive, to be. Check this out. This is Randalls Island. I don't know if you can see. This is a nice park over here. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to repeat itself, and I think that's what is happening inadvertently. I don't even think black people obviously want, the ones who are true freedom fighters, and they want to see change. I don't think they really want for their future generations or future self to relive the same thing that they live and the same thing that their ancestors have lived, right? But in our perspective, that's what's happening. So my point is, in order to disrupt that process that we are helping to co-create with our oppressors, the role that we can do is to pull ourselves out of it psychologically. Not that you have to really physically. I love your outfit. Thank you. Thank you. Not that we have to physically get up and leave America, but we could change our perspective. It seems like they did some changes over here. A little different. You feel me? What's up, Charisma? I'm definitely looking for other opportunities outside. Girl, yes. I'm really big on looking at travel vlogs. I've been doing that since I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. I lived in Atlanta from 2011 through 2014, and I came across a lot of vloggers. I'm gonna go this way though. Yeah, I love this grass. Yes. Free. But I used to follow a lot of vloggers, travel vloggers. One of my very first ones I used to follow was Tiny TKO. I still do. I'm still big on travel vlogs. And you learn so much. You learn that, this world is so big. There's so many different opportunities out here. We don't have to be stuck, frustrated, feeling ostracized and left out of society. Feeling like we gotta be stuck with our life just being protesting. That's like someone else defining your purpose in life. Because they go out and create these situations, these incidents. They know what the fuck they doing. They go out and create these incidents. This was not here. I think this definitely grew up. Because I used to come over here all the time and I do not remember. Look how tall this is. Wait. Let me show you. Let's see. Look. Behind me, yo. It goes to show this grew up. This was not like this. Look at this. But yeah, never put your livelihood, your freedom, your happiness in the hands of someone else. And you do so when you become reactionary to things that are happening. It's like bringing it down to a micro level, right? We know racism definitely is more of a macro, broad scale level. Bringing it down to a micro level, thinking back to when we were in grade school and you would have bullies, right? They just keep fucking. They won't quit fucking with you. They see something about you, right? They feel they can just pick on you because it makes them feel empowered. And then the whole time, and this is not just grade school. You may be at a job where you're still getting bullied, whether it's by a superior or coworker. And then it's like your whole paradigm changes in response to this interpersonal relationship that you have that has been created essentially by this other person outside of you that wants to draw you into their existence and control your reality. And so you react to this person in different ways. You can't stop thinking about this person. This person is bothering you, nagging you on a job. You're going home, you're still thinking about this person and these interactions that you're having with this person, right? This interaction you have with this person becomes so much of your reality and your existence that now you are fighting for your job. You're fighting for peace at your job. You're doing all these different things. Your whole reality is like, what the fuck? That's not what life is supposed to be, especially not working. If you want to go and get the bag or whatever, that's not what it's supposed to be about. Well, that's what it has become. And I'm just saying to be mindful of what you are being drawn into, right? People have a tendency to pull other people into these enactments. And essentially what's happening with Black Americans is we are being pulled into an enactment with these deliberate, orchestrated events that are non-stop. They're never going to stop, right? They're never going to stop. And we just continue being drawn up in it so that even if we wanted to go out and build our own nation, independent of oppression, just building and having our own, we couldn't. Why? Because Our livelihood, our survival is wrapped up into fighting the oppressor, fighting to survive. No, that's not what life is supposed to be about. This is fucking chess, not checkers. We gotta play our cards correctly. Feel me? You know what? I never knew a train goes over this bridge. Look. Walking under this bridge and there's a train that goes under this bridge here. But I know we are much smarter than that. You know? And I know, of course, one can make the argument it's a time for war, right? It's a time for peace. It's a time to just exist. Not even thinking about fighting back in war. Some will say, well, we have to fight. If we don't fight back, then what? If that's the case, we're always going to be at war fighting. Yes, I definitely believe in that. And you know what? There are many alliances that have been created. There are many organizations. There are a lot of black people. What I noticed, like, I'm a good observer, and I'm pretty sure you are too. If you look around, you'll see there are a lot of organizations that have been formed that have nothing to do with fighting oppression, but they serve a purpose to unite black people so that we can thrive. Whether they are helping us improve our financial status, right, and gaining financial stability, right, and financial wealth. Whether it's health centered, right, working on eating healthier and working out, staying fit. Like, no matter what it is, there are a lot of organizations, and I think that that's what we should align ourselves with. Organizations such as that really center on just our well-being at the core. That's like, in a sense, that's like a backdoor approach. I know a lot of us are so consumed about politics because, yes, everything is political. And when it comes to politics, we're talking about our survival. But that's a backdoor approach to uniting on a political front. I talk to men who express interest in me, and of course, politics comes up. It's inevitable because I'm definitely a diehard Pan-African. So it's going to come up. And so I tell them the solution to oppression, racial oppression, is just black men and women coming together, building our families, being resistant to this system, and being mindful, first and foremost, that the system is designed to disrupt that unity within the black community, that unity within the black family unit. Be mindful of that and work ever so hard to stay united as a black man and as a black woman. That's the conversations I have with men who express potential interest in me. And I know it sounds easy on the surface, like, okay, let's just come together, black man, black woman, create family, and stay together, essentially, right? That's all you gotta do is just stay together. Sounds easy. If it's that easy, why is it that there's so many people divorcing? Why is it that there's so many black mothers putting in black men on child support? So we have to know that's how we fight racial oppression. We fight it on an individual level, in ways that we can't control, in ways that we have control over. It's not about going out there and protesting all necessarily, right? It's not always about boycotting a certain. Hold on. Take a pause. It's not always about boycotting a certain holiday, such as 4th of July. It can simply be about black men and women just coming together and staying together. You feel me? easier said than done. But I talk to men who have children. This one man just hit me up. He got a 2-year-old girl, right? I'm like, how old is your children? He said, I only got one child, and I have a daughter. She's 2 years old. I'm like, okay, why aren't you with the mother? And his response, well, it's a long story, but it didn't work out. Clearly it didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? He's like, well, like irreconcilable differences, right? They couldn't resolve their issues. Okay, well, what was it, right? You're beating around the bush. I need to know, if I'm going to be involved with a man, especially who has kids, and I don't have kids, I need to know that he's self-aware. He's mindful. He has insight as to what didn't work. Because I told him, I said, history, the reason why I'm asking this, not that I'm trying to be nosy and get up in your business, I'm asking these questions to see how much insight and self-awareness that you have into what went wrong. Because a lot of men oftentimes, and it's not just about men versus women, oftentimes people in general attribute blame to the other person as to why it didn't work out. No, it's not always about that. But that's oftentimes what they attribute the blame to. The other person. Like, oh, they did this, they did that. So he goes, oh, well, she, what did he say? He was like, oh, you don't know a person until you know him, until you live with him. Basically, in so many words, attributing blame to her, saying that it was something that he couldn't tolerate from her and living with her. Isn't that a sad reality? That you create a whole life, a new being with a person, and you are willing to walk away from that. So I said, essentially, your intolerance of your non-negotiables, right? His inability to tolerate whatever non-negotiables that surfaced while they were living together outweighed his commitment to his own morals, his own morality in creating and sustaining a black family unit. So I put that out there to carry the conversation, to make it evolve into something more self-reflective and more in-depth, which I noticed that he wasn't ready for it. So basically, he agreed with me. He was like, yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm right, but build upon what I said. He couldn't. A lot of people lack the ability to look within themselves, to be honest enough to say, okay, well, I fucked up, right? Some men come around to it, but when they do, it's too late. They all the way up in their 50s and 60s and realizing, yo, I fucked up because I'm being negatively influenced by the status quo of what's popular in society. I'm being negatively influenced by what these narratives are being promoted on social media. What the cool thing is to do. Watching these videos that go viral with black men making disparaging remarks towards black and about black women. You think that's how you're going to sustain a healthy relationship with a black woman? No. All of that, what's up, queen, what's up, goddess, that shit don't fucking stand the test of time. If you truly uphold a black woman as goddess, if the black man truly did that, he will do that. Simply uphold her as such through the thick and the thin. And I said, you know what I observed is that a lot of couples, right, around the time of the birth of a baby experience a lot of stress. They have difficulty navigating that stress, right? A lot of things come to surface through that stress. We're talking about standing the test of time, which a lot of them cannot do. So it takes a degree of maturity to look at oneself. First of all, to be prepared, because there are a lot of healthy relationships. That's a different kind of bike. I've never seen one like that. It seems like it's less work to pedal it. But there are a lot of relationships, couples that are able to withstand that very stressful, life-changing, transformative period surrounding the birth of a child. There have been obviously a lot of births that have happened within couples, and the man and the woman stay together. So we're talking about the black community and a lot of black people taking a stance against this national holiday, 4th of July, Independence Day. And these same black people oftentimes spew anti-American rhetoric in efforts to assert their identity as a freedom fighter, as a revolutionary. And I say to them, if you truly want to be revolutionary, it really starts on an individual level when it comes to making change within your own perspective, within your own mind, emancipating your own mind. And with that, it's going to reflect upon your relationships with people, especially the opposite sex, when you're talking about intimate relationships, right? And what that looks like, you know? People want to be so revolutionary until it's really time to do the work. We must unify to be stronger as a people, most certainly. Most certainly. I kind of like this spot right here. Up under this tree. It's nice, it's cool, it's chill. Reminds me of Florida. But yeah, that's my thought. Hold on. There we go. Taking a little break here. I'm about to end this video as I finish my walk. But yes, those are my thoughts, which I stand firmly behind. And I challenged black people who are watching this, who are more so aligned with this ideology. I definitely need to get me a foot job, y'all. Don't look at my feet. I'm definitely going to get me a foot job. And a pedicure. Someone back in the day told me I have Harriet Tubman feet. Yeah, that was a nice joke too. But I challenge those black people who are watching this, who are anti-4th of July, to really take a reflective look and ask themselves, okay, looking back last year, a year ago, looking back 2 years ago, looking back 4 years ago, what have you done? How have you effected change for yourself and for the black community, right? A lot of y'all are just repeating the same bullshit that you said last year. No progress whatsoever. We have to effect change, real change. And in terms of going out and exploring other countries, other domiciles outside of America, yes, that's the way to go. I'm for it. I'm with it. But I'm also of the school of thought that whatever change that you are seeking outside of America, that change can happen right here. There's really a change that needs to take place within your mind, within your soul. That change can happen right here on this soil. You can live a great, fulfilled life right here. This life is truly what you make it. Yes. So you guys share your thoughts on that. But life is what we make it. For real. Life is what we make it. I'm going to make my way to the beach sometime as soon as my bathing suit comes in. I ordered a bathing suit I ordered a bathing suit from this vendor online, and I'm still waiting for it. I think it's been like, at least now it's been like 8 days since I placed the order. So I'm like, yo, where's my bathing suit? It's a 2-piece. I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like. It's a 2-piece bathing suit. I'm going to the beach. I definitely want to go to a pool too. I'm going to go to a pool and to a beach. Alright, let's continue this walk. Let's keep going. It's a nice spot. This is where I was sitting right here. Nice spot, right? Nice spot. Pier 69. Alright. Oh, look at these doggies. I'm curious what places Charisma is looking into. Let's see. Let me type in the chat box. Yeah, just find it interesting. I call it so woke and so conscious, but we're shooting our own self in the foot, being a detriment to ourselves. To no avail. Seriously. Ghana mostly. Oh, that's what's up. Yes, I heard Ghana is like very tourist friendly and very welcoming of African Americans, diasporan Africans, and working with us to get dual citizenship, which that definitely has implications because I believe Ghana is one of the countries in Africa where it requires a visa, if I'm not mistaken. So visas basically is like a regulated pass and how long you can spend in that particular country. Some visas are for 30 days, some visas are for 60 days, 90 days, and you have to have a reason, explain it to them. Why are you there? Most people get travel visas, but if you're trying to relocate, you're going to need more than a travel visa. So with the dual citizenship, it allows you to establish residency or domicile in a foreign country that offers the dual citizenship. That's the bicycle I was talking about. So not a bad idea. I like Canada, too cold though. New Zealand, somewhere in the Caribbean. Interesting how you mentioned New Zealand because I was talking about this blogger who I follow. She just relocated to New Zealand. Now she's a travel blogger, but a lot of her followers on YouTube are upset because she announced that she's gonna stop traveling. She's gonna stop doing travel vlogs and just settle down in New Zealand and start taking up classes, college classes. Now this is a girl, very smart. She was from California. Actually, I think she had a full-time scholarship to UCLA, but decided to drop out of college, drop out of school, and travel the world. And so she did that. She went to every country on her bucket list, and now she is settling down in New Zealand, which from the way she describes it is equally as expensive as the cost of living in the United States. So, but she's very resourceful in her ways of being able to get revenue and income. She actually, even on her vlog, YouTube channel, she makes videos sharing some tips on ways to make money. For example, like she's house sitting now. Not just house sitting, but she sits like she does the pet sitting. I never thought of that, right? So sometimes it's good to just check out and to interact and learn from other people. But she found this website. It's kind of like Uber, but for pet sitters or house sitters, right? Or like Grubhub, right? Like those apps that allow you just to, or no, shall I say like Airbnb, kind of like Airbnb, but for like pet sitters. And you can go on there and put in like the location where you're trying to go, and find people who are looking for you to watch their pet or watch their home while they are on vacation. Now their vacation could be, usually it's typically for like a week or a month or whatever, and they don't charge you to stay there. They're actually paying you to stay at their place for free in exchange for you watching their home or their pet. So that's what she's doing. This vlogger that I follow, her name is Good Energy. Energy spelled with a Y at the end. And it's very inspirational. Sometimes people worry about the cost of traveling, but there are many different ways you can do things if you truly want to do it. Right? Nothing is stopping you from doing really what you want to do. If you truly, truly want to do it. There's always a way. So, let's see. I want to go like this way. Then she dropped some tips. So that goes all the way down there. I'm not going all the way down there. I'm going to go this way. She dropped some tips on like these writing sites that obviously pay you to write blogs on a regular basis, and she's doing that now. Where they pay her $1,200 a month. I don't know how many blogs she's writing, but she does that. She's like an editor. So there's so many different gigs, so many different ways to make money remotely, where you can do it from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be here in the U.S. I think I would prefer to visit on a visa first before committing to a country. Yeah, that's, I guess, the safer, more calculated way to do it. But I know me, when I moved to New York, I didn't visit first and then came here. Like, I just moved here. Same thing when I went to LA. I had never been to Los Angeles, but I just randomly packed my things and I moved spontaneously. So it's really just, I think it's person by person. It just depends on your situation. Let's see. I go this way.